I'm Goat with Them Productions, and we're here at the N-Men Party 2023 with our continuing series of interviews. And in the spirit of those interviews, we're here with one of the hardcores of the N-Men, one of the hardcore guys in Northern California, and Northern California encompasses lots of places, and Chico is one of those places, and there is a crew, we might even call it a sub-crew of the N-Men. It's a chapter, if you will, and the gang leader of Part-Time Skateboards and Chico's here right now, Jon Yunker, and we're gonna talk to him. We're gonna say, we'll start it off with something simple. You know, we like to start with the basics, Jon. When did you first see a skateboard?
It was probably around 1980. Saw a skateboard down on the street. Someone left it out on the street, and basically I picked it up and rode it around and fell in love with it.
What kind of board was it?
That was a Sims taper kick.
Sims taper kick. So it just to set the stage for everybody here. You know, these younger guys, you know, it's like when you hear about the kids that started off with a Porsche or a Cadillac for their first car, he gets a Sims taper kick, you know, when we were on black nights with clay wheels, okay? So Sims taper kick, it started off with urethane wheels in 1980.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're all, see how old I am. I'm wondering if you started on clay or not. So tell us about the board. Tell us about that board.
That board was kind of the neighborhood board that got passed around and just ended up everywhere else. And about a year later, I ended up saving up money and gotten a Pal Peralta skull and sword.
Okay.
So got the skull and sword board. And
did you ride the hand-me-down board for a year?
I rode it a few times and really wanted to skate more. So I ended up working on my paper route and made the money and bought the board myself.
Funny thing, so do you remember how much that board cost?
I believe it was like about $75 I paid at that time.
Okay, so it's a little higher going rate at $75 back in the day there. For instance, the Black Knight I just made reference to. Remember, $4.95 at the Firestone Tire Store in Santa Cruz.
Man, that's a deal.
So you got the first good board, right?
Yep.
Then you moved on, you got the real good board. Now how much are you skating? How good are you by now?
At that point, I just started skating street, and started meeting up with some crews and skating, you know, the curbs and stuff. And one of the guys had a vert ramp in his backyard, and he invited me over, and that was it. I fell in love with vert right away.
Okay.
So
there you go. Jon is in the crew, one of the most prolific vertical and pool skaters that the gang's got. And, you know, well, wait, you'll see footage of that. Just keep looking as you go along. Now, so now you're skating. It's a little more organized. At this point now, you're running with a crew now, or you're on your own still? What are you doing?
Right about then, my parents uprooted me and moved me back east to Boston.
Okay.
And threw me into the system there, and basically started meeting new skaters, you know, on the East Coast, and we built a vert ramp in my friend's backyard.
Wow.
And just started, that's all we skated was vert.
An interesting anecdote, you know, I grew up in Santa Cruz, and I moved back east to New Hampshire for a year and a half.
Wow.
In 77, 78.
Yeah, I lasted high school years, and that was it. I was back in Northern California.
While we were there, I won the 1978 East Coast United States Skateboard Championship. It was held in Greenfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Out in the west.
Nice.
In a hockey rink. And it's an interesting thing.
They always have them in the hockey rinks back there.
Russ Howell and Stacy Peralta were the judges as they were touring. And so they held the contest of their tour. We got done, and I ended up going on the rest of the demo tour with them.
Really?
Because I was this kid from Santa Cruz, you know, and they're there in town, and I win this contest. They're like, "Boy, you're really good." I said, "Yeah, I'm from Santa Cruz. I'm not from here." Yeah, that's why. I'm on Team Santa Cruz and everything. I'm like dying for credibility, you know. And they're like, "Oh, it's cool. You can come with us."
Nice.
Cool. So the East Coast Boston guy, you know, my family's from Boston too. So you had East Coast thing, and you're skating out. There's parks that by that point back then, right?
At that point, 1980, late 80s, 1988, I graduated high school and moved to Florida.
Wow.
And skated the parks down in Florida for the summers. And
boy,
enjoyed
did you meet any of that crew? Did you meet the McGill crew and those guys?
At that point, McGill was out in
he was already out
on the West Coast.
Okay.
So I met up with Monty Nolder and Chris Balcom and Bill Breithaupt.
Yep.
bunch of guys like that.
So a friend of mine from the Boston area is a big freestyle guy. He's in Jacksonvall right now. Moved his whole thing down there.
Wow, that's great.
By Kona Skate Park.
That's
That was
beautiful
his-
area. Yeah, I was in Gainesville.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so you're on the East Coast. How do you get back here?
Right about then is when I was going to start college, and I picked Chico State.
Okay.
So,
For anyone who doesn't know, biggest party school in America, Chico State.
Yep.
Hence attitude, hence skateboarding. So you're in Chico, you're going to school, you must be skating.
Yep, a little bit of skating here and there, getting through school, doing whatever I can, trying to snowboard too.
All right.
So snowboard as much as I can.
And you got out of school and you're still there.
We ended up moving, ended up in Sacramento.
Okay.
Lived in Sacramento for 9 years.
Uh-huh.
That's where I met Randy Caton.
Okay.
And
We're
met,
going to get to
Steve.
that, the connection to the end, man. So you're just skating and you happen to meet the guys.
I was skating at Rux's Grand Prix skate park for the 2 years that it was there. And Randy would come out and we'd talk to him and he'd invite us to go skate pools and he wanted us to go. And I said, I think I could do that.
You know, we're saying part of this entire thing, part of the thing about the N-Men family is, you know, you meet somebody and then here we are years later, we're all still here. And it's friendships grow, they never get old, they only grow from there. So we wanted to interview Jon today too because Jon is one of the best skateboarders that we've got in the N-Men crew here. So tell us a little bit about the hardcore skating as you moved along here.
Within the N-Men?
Yeah, where'd you go? You got any contests? You ever win anything good?
Well, recently I just got back from a trip with 4 other guys that basically all of them have been the Naughty of the Year for different years.
Yeah.
I being one of them.
Yeah.
We had an incredible trip. Went down to Malibu and skated Malibu and
Awesome.
met up with everyone, all the men for the premiere. Had a great time there and skated Ojai with Tony Alba.
Real
That was incredible
skateboarders hit
stuff.
the road and go skateboard all over the place. And these guys are no different. You're going to go to a town. So, when you're on the road, you're young, inspiring skateboarders, anytime you go to a new town, there's a new park, there's a new place to go, there's new stuff to see all the time. So you want to go on adventures. And skateboard adventures is kind of what we're all about. If you've seen some of our other videos, this guy's right in the middle of all the adventures. So we're going to get to this thing. We've got a gig later tonight. And Jon's going to go to the sessions. And the session, how was the session today, by the way?
Session was great. Skated the Peanut for a while, and then skated the Capsule. So good times, trail and everything.
Look for video of Jon skateboarding on N Productions YouTube and on N-Men Pool Service website. We're going to be posting more content as we move along. So we'd like to thank the gang. We'd like to thank Jon Yunker and Part-Time Skateboards for being out here tonight. Just remember, we're going to have the rest of the party here. So check it later. Out. I'm Goat.
All right.
There you go.
Cool. Thank you for the interview.
Absolutely.
I hope I did okay.
No, it's great. Perfect.
Okay. I didn't babble.
You'd be amazed. When these things hit, it'll be one little comment you make that somebody's going to go, whoa.